And that is that. Luciano Spalletti has won his first game as Juventus coach. We have beaten Cremonese 2-1 away from home. And if I'm being honest, the scoreline I don't think fully reflects the game. I thought it was a lot more comfortable for us personally than what the scoreline shows. But at the end, it got intense. After Jamie Vardy's goal, we were on the back foot. We were a little bit nervous. I was a little bit nervous, especially going like, surely we can't throw this game away. After all the chances we had, that game should have been done after halftime. It should have been dead and buried. We'll dive into all of that. But we got the 3 points. That is the main thing that matters. We got the 3 points. We take it. It's not an easy place to go away from home. And Cremonese this season have actually been a tough side to beat. So I'm happy. Spalletti got his first win. First game. The team played well. We created a lot of chances. Not much to really complain about. Let me know in the comment section what you thought about the game. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We're so close to 10k subs. Like the video if you enjoyed. Share it with some friends. And without further ado, let's get into analysing. As we can see here, the momentum, it's saying it's quite even from FotMob, and I understand why, because we really were playing in transition. We were really playing on the counter-attack today. Cremonese actually had more of the ball, 51%. We had 2 expected goals, which I think is a little bit low. 15 total shots compared to their 9. 4 big chances compared to their 1. Over the course of the 90 minutes, I do think we didn't create like... It wasn't like Aldera had to do so much work. It wasn't like he had to pull off world-class saves. It was almost, though, the situation where we were so effective in transition, we just couldn't finalize. It was like the pass before the action was where we messed up on several accounts in the transition, let's say, phase of the game, especially in that first half. We created a lot. We created an abundance of chances. And I thought it was a very different kind of performance to the way we were sort of setting up with Tudor. It was more ball retention, dominate the possession. But today we gave Cremonese more of the ball and we just hit them on the counter-attack. And I thought it worked really well. In terms of our players and our performances, I'm going to dive into every single one. Di Gregorio, for example, in goal. Didn't really have to get put to work too much. On the goal, he didn't dive. He was flat-footed. But at the end of the day, it's a great finish from Jamie Vardy. That goal was not his fault at all. We're going to get on to whose fault that goal was. But Di Gregorio wasn't really tested. He was pretty much at ease for the whole game. I have to be honest. Like I said, Cremonese, they might have had a lot of the ball, but they didn't create any clear-cut chances. Apart from the Vard's goal, we were calm. We were chilling at the back. We were laying down on a sunbed, whatever you want to call it. And we were all right. We weren't tested whatsoever. And Di Gregorio didn't have to pull off too many crazy saves. Kalulu on the right. Decent performance. Nothing special. Didn't really put a foot wrong. Looked pretty comfortable. I mean, I'm never going to see Kalulu again on the right wing-back role or on the right-hand side in offensive position with Spalletti, which is the main thing, because that's where I thought he was struggling with Igor Tudor in offensive positions. But today, he wasn't found there. He was found at the back in his defensive role where he's meant to be, and he looked fine. So, Kalulu was good today. Gatti, on the other hand, for me, he might have been the worst on the pitch for us because of that goal. That goal there against Vardy. Come on, bro. You have to be stronger there. You know Vards is a striker that's going to try and bully you mentally and physically throughout the game. There's no doubt in my mind Vardy was just yapping at him the whole game. Probably cussing him out in Italian. Probably. Because Vardy's all about mind games. And I respect that from Jamie Vardy. I can't lie. I've always liked Jamie Vardy. I've always thought he's a character. I kind of like those personnels in football almost. I think they're needed. They're required. And I was very happy when he came to the Serie A. He's a great addition. And so far, he's actually gelled really well. I think it's 2 goals in his last 2 games now. But he was probably talking at you, barking off at your ear the whole game. Probably mouthing you off, trying to get in your head. And in that 50-50 duel, you were too weak, Federico Gatti. You were too weak against Vardy. He's pushing you. It's not a foul because it's a little tussle. You're almost looking at Vards instead of looking at the ball. Because that ball there, it's a long ball over the top. You got to win that header. You got to win that. You got to clear it. You got to rise high and get rid of that ball. But you let it bounce. And as soon as a defender lets the ball bounce against a striker who's quick, a striker that's hungry, a striker like Jamie Vardy, or any like semi-strong, any striker at that kind of level of football, because they're all top, right? You're gonna get scored on. And that's what Vards did. He bullied him. Then Federico Gatti almost slipped. He fell. And then I knew it was wraps. I knew Vardy was never going to miss that chance. But Gatti mistimed that header and mistimed that interception so badly. You can't be doing mistakes like that. Obviously, we were 2-0 up. So we were fine. We had the comfort. But if it was 1-0, We would be focusing on that moment, despite the fact that it was a good performance over the 90. Defensive lapses like that, we need to avoid. We need to iron out. And Gatti today had a big role because he was playing as a central centre-back, which he's rarely done for Juventus. And he had Kalulu next to him and Cremonese next to him. And Cremonese isn't a centre-back. We're going to talk about Cremonese, right? But Gatti, whenever he typically plays, is on the right. I feel like we really need Bremer back in that central centre-back role. And if I'm being completely honest, boys, the best option for that central centre-back role, you might not want to hear it, is Daniele Rugani. He's the best option. Because obviously today, Kelly wasn't there because I think he had a muscular problem. So he would always be in the left centre-back role if there's a 3-back because he's left-footed. Typically, it would be Gatti or Kalulu in the right centre-back role for me. And I would have Rugani in the central centre-back role if Bremer's not available. Because he has experience, he has the know-how. I think he's more intelligent than Gatti. Gatti for me is a good defender, but he's a bit rash at times, you know. He has those lapses in judgment. I think Rugani's more chill. He's more composed. He reads the game a little bit better than Gatti. And in that position, I think Rugani would have actually won the header. Not beaten Vardy for pace, but won the initial header, which wouldn't have even resulted in that Jamie Vardy attack through on goal. So Gatti made a big error on that goal, I have to be honest. Next to him, though, Cremonese. When I saw the formation that came out, I read it about 3 times. And when Juventus released the starting 11, it's just like, you know, the names going down. There's no, like, graphic of what the system is. So I was reading, I was thinking, what formation are we playing? At first, I was convinced it was either a 4-4-2 or a diamond. I thought it was Kostic left-back, Cambiaso right-back, Gatti, Kalulu centre-backs, Locatelli, Cremonese, McKennie, and then someone else in the 10. Or one of those guys in the 10. I was thinking it's a diamond, like the 14-15 season. I was like, it could be a 4-4-2 with Thuram, Locatelli double pivot, Cremonese on the right, McKennie on the left, or vice versa. But that's a bit strange. There's no natural wide midfielders. You would play like a Conceição in that system then. And then when I started watching the game, I was focusing solely on Cremonese because I was thinking, where is this guy playing? Within 15 minutes, 10-15 minutes, I was like, he's playing centre-back. And it's not just a centre-back thing out of possession or in possession. He was playing centre-back. And I was looking at it and I was thinking, wow, this could end badly. Because Cremonese, I don't think I've ever seen him play centre-back in my life. When he was in Holland, when he was in Atalanta, wherever Cremonese played, I had never seen a guy play centre-half. And I was thinking, well, he's not like the tallest guy. He's not great in the air. I mean, his defensive work rate is good for a midfielder, but as a defender, you don't need a defensive work rate. You're a defender. That's your job. You defend. How good is your one-on-one defending? And Cremonese, I think he got caught out a couple times on his one-on-one defending, but he had personnel around him to help him. He had Kostic on the left, did Gatti next to him. But if I'm being completely honest, for his first game, first full night he played as a centre-half, and he only moved into the midfield when Rugani came on right at the end, he actually did good, Cremonese, as a centre-back. Am I now saying, going forward, if we play this 3-5-2, which I was surprised even Spalletti opted for, if I'm being honest, but we'll touch upon that after. Would I keep playing Cremonese as that left centre-back role? Probably not. I don't think he will. I think when Kelly comes back, if we are to play a 3-back, Kelly will be the left centre-back. But I think against the better opponents with tougher players, okay, especially in the Champions League, for example, I'm looking at the game against Sporting, which isn't going to be an easy game. It's a bit of a risk. But from what I saw today, Cremonese, I thought did really well in that role. I did. I'm not saying we should transform him into a centre-back. And what I found really strange was Spalletti, I think on his first day as Juventus coach, said that he sees Cremonese as a pure 8. So this one was like never let them know your next move kind of thing. Cremonese as a centre-back. But he did his job today. So, as I said, I was a bit surprised we played a 3-back, but we move. On the right, Cambiaso, on FootMob, he won Player of the Match, and he might have actually won it overall from the Serie A. He was in the contention at the end of the game. He created the most chances. He got his goal. Bit lucky with a deflection off the keeper's leg, but it was well worked. We deserved that second goal, and I thought Cambiaso over the last 2 matches has looked really good. Especially on that right-hand side. That's his natural position, in my opinion. We talk about his ambipede ability. We can talk about how he's good on either flank. But for me, his superiority comes on the right-hand side. That's where he really raises his level of football, in my opinion. Today, he worked hard offensively. He worked hard defensively. His ball retention was good. He was creative, as we guys saw. He created the most chances in the game. He looked like the Cambiaso we saw under Allegri, like 2023-24 Cambiaso, comfortable on the right-hand side. And if I'm being completely honest, this wing-back partnership of Cambiaso and Kostic should probably be the wing-back partnership every single time. And this poses the question then, do we stick with a 5-back? Because if we move to a 4-back, I think Kostic as a left-back probably will struggle more than as a wing-back because he's going to have less offensive responsibilities. Whereas Kostic today and in the last game with Brambilla looked excellent. He got his goal today, took his goal really, really well. Bit of fortune, obviously, deflected straight to him. But it's his birthday. I think it says here he's 33, so he would have turned 33 today. Happy birthday to Kostic. Happy birthday to Juventus as well. We're celebrating both birthdays with a win. Can't ask for any more. But of course, I thought Kostic today was really, really good. Just like the game midweek, he created a lot in the final third. He was involved in a lot of counter-attacking play. And for me, Kostic is like the perfect wing-back when it comes to counter-attacking system. Then it poses the question, though. We could potentially play Cambiaso on this left-hand side, Joao Mario on the right. But I'm looking at him thinking, Kostic is better than Joao Mario. He's more experienced. He's more refined. He's better final third player. I think he's better defensively. He works harder. I'd rather have Kostic in the starting 11, boys. I'll be honest. And you get to play Cambiaso on the right-hand side in his better position. Why would you subtract from Cambiaso and subtract from Kostic to have Joao Mario and Cambiaso? No, you wouldn't do that. So I'm liking this wing-back partnership a lot. Thuram today, I'm going to be critical because I love Thuram. You guys know I defend Thuram all the time. I think he's a top-class midfielder. But I thought today he was actually quite poor for his standard. He was going back constantly. He wasn't brave enough. There were a lot of times when he was on the ball where I was just saying to the TV, drive into space. Drive, push forward. You got time, you got space here. Take a shot. And like, I want him to sort of take more responsibility, especially in the final third, because I think Thuram has all the capabilities to improve his final third ability in terms of his final pass and his shooting, specifically his shooting. Because Thuram has that Paul Pogba built, but Paul Pogba had that strike on him. Paul Pogba was fearless. Paul Pogba would shoot from every angle because he was capable of doing so. I'm not saying Thuram isn't capable. I think he has a good strike. Maybe not to the same extent as a Paul Pogba, right? But he can work on that in training. And just shoot in game. There are so many times where we're trying to find the perfect final ball. Sometimes that doesn't exist. Sometimes it doesn't. You can catch the guys off guard. You can strike it well. The keeper might make a mistake. Anything can happen. So there were a lot of times where I was thinking, just shoot Kefren. Worst that can happen, it goes over. It doesn't matter. There were a couple of times Locatelli just shot and it went over. But he shot in the right moments. And I think Thuram sometimes tries to force the extra pass when a shot is necessary. So that's why today I thought he was a little bit lower. I would rank him a bit lower than a Locatelli, for example. Just because I expect such high standards for someone like Kefren Thuram. That's probably why I'm being critical. But he wasn't poor by any stretch of imagination. And Locatelli as well looked really, really good. Just dictating play as he always does, as he has done for Tudor in the last 6 months. Again, maintaining that level. There were questions. Will Spalletti start him? Will he drop him? For me, he's going to be a staple piece in this team, as he deserves to be. Now, this formation is wrong. McKennie wasn't really a right winger. McKennie almost had like a free roam today. It was like a 3-5-2, but he would opt here, he would opt here, he would move everywhere. And McKennie today, for me, was one of the best players on the football pitch, 100%. As I said, he worked so hard on and off the ball, defensively, offensively, like that Kostic mould. I really appreciate these kind of players. For me, McKennie works hard for the badge. He helps his teammate. Like, a player like, I don't know, if a Kenan's playing, you know Kenan defensively isn't going to track back 30 yards every single time. But McKennie will do that. He'll do the dirty work. He'll do the dog running. And for me, McKennie today was really, really good. Involved in the first goal. I believe he did the little through pass to Openda before the back pass. But just today, his final ball was absolutely excellent. Absolutely excellent. So McKennie, for me, was one of the best players on the football pitch today. But there's a clear man of the match for me. I know Cambiaso won it, but for me today, Vlahovic. That, ladies and gentlemen, is what you call a striker's performance. If any of you watching this are an aspiring, up-and-coming striker, and you watched that game or you haven't watched that game, go check out Vlahovic's performance from today. Because this guy here, today, Baschirotto, was fouling him from minute 1 to minute 90, and the referee didn't protect Vlahovic at all. I actually believe he gave him one foul throughout the whole game. Baschirotto was hugging him, he was holding him, he was hitting him, and every single time Vlahovic's hold-up play was perfect. His hold-up play, his link-up play, his transitional abilities was just so well refined today, it was ridiculous. There was that one chance at the start of the game where he flicks it around the defender on his left foot, drives in on goal on his right foot, shoots, keeper pulls off a decent save. That is creating a chance from nothing. He created that from null, void, asinine, zero, nothing. His hold-up play, as I said, incredible. Runners off him. You got McKennie, Openda, Kostic, Thuram. Everyone was getting in on the action because of Vlahovic. Physically, so imposing. Was good in the air. Just lacked that goal. I think the best chance came, I want to say, I don't remember who put it in. It was in the second half. And I think he goes with his left foot. McKennie. It was McKennie. McKennie plays a great left-footed ball across the box, a snatch pass. And Vlahovic slides in. He probably should go with his right to tap it, and he goes with his strong foot on his left, and it just goes wide. But Vlahovic just lacked the goal today. But overall, his performance was like against Madrid, even better, in my opinion. Absolutely excellent. He needs to be re-signed. We need to renegotiate his contract. Maybe not on the same money. We need to try to figure out a situation to keep this man, because he's our best striker, and he needs to start every game. Openda, on the other hand, I'm getting a bit disappointed because I feel like he's lacking too much confidence. I am. Because I look at Openda and I'm thinking, there are so many times, like Thuram, but even more for Openda because he's an attacker, just shoot the ball. Press circle. Press B on your controller. Shoot. He always tries to find that extra pass or that extra touch to create a better yard of space. You don't have time like that in the Serie A. Once you get a chance, because the defense of most Serie A teams are very low block anyway. So they're naturally going to be very close to you. There's not much space. Today, you had an excess amount of space. You had to shoot, pull the trigger earlier. There was a good 2 opportunities in the first half, especially on his left foot. When he takes an extra touch, hits the side net. No, you shoot first time when Cambiaso's played you in. Straight away. Left foot across goal, bang. Un tiro y pa, as Ronaldo said against us. Second half, one that frustrated me the most was it's a 2-on-1 situation. He tries to lay it to Vlahovic, gives the laziest pass in the world. And it's intercepted. Vlahovic is like, oh my days, play me in well. And he was right. He was right. Openda today, he looked shy. However, in the first half, I did like their link up. They sort of played off each other really, really well. And it's something, hopefully, that with time, they're going to get used to playing with each other. And it's promising, but Openda needs to gain more confidence in front of goal. In terms of the subs, Conceição came on, got a really, well, I don't know if it counts as an assist, but he cut that across so well. And Vlahovic, by the way, let that run through his legs. What play from Duzan. João Mario and Adzic, Regan, these guys barely touched the football, so there's no point really rating them. I'll briefly touch upon Jamie Vardy. Look at this guy. He had the least touches of any outfield player to play 90 minutes with 14. One chance, bullies Gatti, finishes it so well. I applaud Jamie Vardy, bro. 38 years old, still doing this in the Serie A. I think Cremonese are definitely going to stay up, and I think Jamie Vardy is going to bag at least 10 Serie A goals, and I think he's going to be an important part to why they stay up. And I want him to stay in the league I want to see this guy play in Italy for at least another season after this one. I'm a big fan of Vards. Well played to him. Also, I thought Barbieri was quite good. His final ball was very, very dangerous. He is Juventus. I want to say we've loaned him. It's just a flat loan. I don't think we've sold him. I need to VAR check that, but I'm pretty sure he belongs to Juventus, and I thought he was really good today as well. This guy's name is crazy. Table. Let's have a look at the table. We're currently in 5th. 18 points. Did what we needed to do. Surpassed Como, which is the main thing. However, Bologna play Parma. They could tie on points with us. We obviously got AC Milan, Roma tomorrow. We need a draw. We need a draw in that game 100%. A draw would be the perfect result, and it's very plausible. And we need Inter to somehow lose against Verona or draw. But even if they win, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. Because right now we're in a good position. 2 wins from 2 in the Serie A. Not bad. Not bad at all. Let's have a look at our upcoming fixtures as well. Just touch upon them briefly. We got Sporting Lisbon. Yep. Sporting Lisbon in the Champions League. We need to get our first win in the Champions League. We actually have to win our next 3 Champions League games to automatically... Well, last year would give us enough points to go to the playoffs, so we need to win that. We got the derby, of course. Massive game against Torino. That'll be tough. Fiorentina away. We don't have a great record there, but these guys are literally relegation form at the minute. We got a nice run of fixtures. Look, these are very nice runs of fixtures up until the big game here against Napoli. But overall, I am very happy with that game. I'm very happy with the performance. I thought we created so many chances, an abundance of chances. That Spalletti system is coming into fruition. And I think we're only going to refine it more the more games we play. And I think we're going to become more deadly and more ruthless as time goes by. So far, very positive signs in my opinion. I'm very happy with that performance. Just an individual error that led to a goal. We can iron that out. Just need to be more ruthless in front of goal in my opinion. But let me know in the comment section what you think, boys. Like the video if you enjoyed. Share it to some friends. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I'll see you in the next video.